I'm picking Travis Browne to win this fight. It's heavyweight, it only takes one punch, and yes, you're running the risk of putting some kind of trust in the Glendale Fight Club and Edmond Taverdian. But if you look at this fight strictly as a styles matchup on paper and account for all of Travis's career, he should win this fight. And there's mixed reports of whether Travis trained with Edmond or not this camp, and it's an ever-present danger because I don't even know if they game plan over there. If Ronda Rousey had better game plans on the amateur circuit than she did at the elite levels of MMA, then that's a huge red flag. What gives me some amount of confidence, however, is a recent article UFC.com did with Travis where he talks about getting stuck in his own head and struggling to bridge the gap between his athleticism and his technique. And we need to hear these past struggles, and they happen to align with what I believe to be Travis's issues too. Travis seems eager to learn and a fighter that is easily coachable. Early in his career when he trained at Alliance, he had the signature movement and style of that gym we see from Dominic Cruz. When he moved on to Jackson Wink, we saw a hybrid of the Alliance style combined with a disciplined and tactical approach that you generally see from a Jackson Wink fighter. But then it begins to get harder to read Travis starting at his first fight with Fabricio Verdum on. He had a broken rib and hand in that fight, then a back fist from Arlovski, which surprised everyone. He beat Mitrione on the mat, but that wasn't a surprise. Cain Velasquez is a tough task for anyone and a nightmare of any style Travis has had, and once again he was injured against Verdum in the rematch. There's no doubt under Taverdian, he seems to have lost any kind of plan or tactics against his opponents and focused on throwing out a worthless jab and finding a right hand counter. Fabricio Verdum acted like a clown in his last fight, and Browne did absolutely nothing about it. This is still a present concern, but at least it seems he's recognized it and is addressing it. He also talks about working with Ricky Lundell, who I have a lot more confidence in than Edmond, and that gives me some extra hope as well. Derrick Lewis, on the other hand, even with all of his flaws, at least shows consistency in his fights. He waits for his opportunity to find his strikes, throws a surprising amount of kicks, but finds most of his success on the mat in top position. He gets miscategorized as a brawler, but I don't really see him as such. He had one moment in the Roy Nelson fight where he brawled, otherwise he's just a power puncher. Problem is, he has to land those punches against a taller fighter with a lot more length. If we see the same Travis Browne that fought Fabricio Verdum, then I think Lewis probably lands an uppercut in the pocket and wins by knockout. But Lewis tends to have a lower output with his hands and kicks more from range. He has good shot selection, but he telegraphs and often misses and lands in the clinch. Derrick Lewis also gets taken down by everyone. Getting taken down by Travis Browne will be much different than getting taken down by Roy Nelson. Nelson may be a better grappler, but Travis has length and he has leverage that allows him to pass guard and get to the full mount quite easily. Also, Travis has a very underrated clinch, and since he is the taller fighter, I see that being a nightmare position for Derrick Lewis too. Travis has good kicks at range as well, and not a bad jab when he commits to it, but Browne leaves his lead hand down often and sometimes just leaves himself hanging in the pocket way too long. Like I said, I think Browne is just better everywhere, and even if he comes in as a plodding counter striker like he's shown, I see Derrick Lewis coming forward looking for a knockout because he wants to make up for his lackluster performance he had against Shamil Abdurakhimov. I really see this fight hitting the clinch, and from there, it's all Travis Browne, and if no one gets knocked out right away, I think it hits the mat, and whether it's by submission or from punches in full mount, I just think Travis Browne gets the stoppage. And other than the obvious heavyweight factors, this is a winnable fight for Travis Browne, and he has a clear path to victory. If you can't trust the Glendale Fight Club, and believe me, I hear you on that, then just go with Derrick Lewis. For all his flaws, at least he has shown direction, a strategy, patience, and discipline. There's a consistency with him, so I think he's the safer pick because he doesn't have as many red flags as Travis, but with the skills laid out on paper, the experience level, and the comparative skills of their opponents, Travis wins in all areas. It's whether or not he comes in with a strategy and uses everything he's learned up to this point in a sensible approach. If Travis Browne allows Derrick Lewis to look like Muhammad Ali, then it's a sad story of wasted talent and potential because Browne was once explosive, fast, and showed some promise in a lackluster heavyweight division. But I'm holding out hope that Ricky Lundell has prepared Travis Browne the best he can, and based on his admission of his own issues, I think he can get the victory here. I see Travis Browne winning inside the distance. I'm leaning by a submission victory. And as far as bets are concerned, no bueno. First of all, it's heavyweight, and betting on heavyweight fights is extremely volatile. The odds show this as a pick'em, but some bookies have him as an underdog. There are also props that are tempting, like Browne inside the distance, Browne by TKO, and Browne by submission, all at plus money. But like I said, not something that I'm particularly interested in. Thank you for watching Rapid Fight Study. Please be sure to subscribe and follow me on Twitter at RapidMMA.